Hello everyone and welcome back to Milo Farms. Well, we're out here today. It's a nice spring day. We're getting ready for summer and getting the tractor all ready. So I thought it'd be a good time to make an oil change video for the 9N tractor. This tractor's got some pieces off of different tractors, 8Ns and 9Ns and 2Ns. So it's just kind of a conglomeration, but the majority of it is 9N and an early 9N at that. So we're going to be changing the engine oil today, and let's take a look what we have here. So as you can see, we've got the engine oil filter up here at the top. This is not the original oil filter. This is one of the spin-on adapters that I think works pretty well. You can pick those up on eBay, or a couple of the different sites have those as well. Then over here is where you're going to be adding the engine oil and the breather. And then right down here you can see the dipstick right there. So underneath, looking at it, you can see several different oil drains. So that right there is the drain for the engine. Then you have the transmission oil drain back here, another transmission oil drain there, and in the very back there's a plug as well. So that's how you get all the transmission and rear end oil out. But today we're going to be focusing on this one right here. So I've already warmed the engine up, used it this morning a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and pop that plug out. That plug is very large and the oil will come out very fast, so you need to be prepared when you take it out. There's also a screen attached to the back of that plug as well. So let's loosen that and see if we can get it out. So there's the oil. As you can see, it comes out really fast, and you want to make sure you have a pan that can catch it. So we'll set that to the side and let it drain down. While that's draining out, we'll go ahead and take the oil filter off. This one just twists off. It is going to spill a bunch of oil down the side of the motor, so I've positioned the pan underneath to try to catch that as best we can. So as soon as I get it spun off, I'm just going to put it upside down in the oil pan to drain. So there it is. You can see the inlet oil, if I recall, comes in this hole here, and the outlet oil goes out the center and then down this pipe. And I had to use this rubber hose to make the attachment because this pipe underneath was all damaged. If you had the original oil filter, you would have a canister mounted there with a lid on top that comes off, and then the filter goes down inside. Those are kind of a pain in the butt to change. They're easily available, but they're just kind of a pain overall. And this is a lot simpler. This particular one uses the Ford or Motorcraft FL1A, I believe it is, filter. So we'll let that drain for a few more minutes and then come back to it. Alright, so I've got the new filter here. I've lubricated the seal on top of it with just a little bit of oil on my finger. And we'll go ahead and put this on, spin the new filter on. There we go. Tighten that guy up. Just hand tight is good. So now we can take the opportunity to check this screen on this plug on the bottom. When I first got this tractor, it didn't have the screen in it, so when I got the new drain plug and put it in the first time, it was just loaded with garbage. But ever since then, it's been pretty good. So we'll go ahead and thread this back in. Okay, we got the drain plug on, and now it's time to add the oil. So what I usually use is just some kind of conventional 1030 oil. You could probably use 1040 or even 1540. Lots of different options, but I find with the wear on this motor, the 1030 works just fine. So I don't use synthetic. You probably could, but this regular old conventional oil just seems to work just fine. So we're going to go ahead and have to figure out a way to make a funnel, or get a funnel that will fit in this area. If you didn't have a loader, it would be super simple to get in there to the oil fill. But since this has a loader on the front, it's a little harder to get to. So I think what I'll do is dump one of the quarts of oil in there from the single quart, and then I'll maybe manipulate that bottle into a funnel and use it to pour the larger. So the manual says it takes about 6 quarts of oil for this, so we'll pour 6 quarts in there and take a look, see how that is. So there's the homemade funnel, and we'll pour the rest of the oil in. Okay, the new oil is in, so let's go ahead and fire it up here and see how it does. We should see oil pressure in a few seconds. There you can see the oil pressure is going up. And this tractor does have some wear in the engine for sure, and so it doesn't have the highest of oil pressure, but right now it's filling up that filter and everything else, so it should go a little bit higher here in a minute. But we'll let it run for a few minutes and then we'll shut it down and check the oil. So we got the oil all changed. We can also go ahead and check the engine coolant up here in the front. I just use regular 50/50 old-fashioned antifreeze in there, and that works just fine. So I can link to that in the description. I can link to some of this oil and the filter as well in the description, so you can check those parts out. Pretty easy tractor to work on. Very simple, straightforward. Another thing right here you can check. On the earlier models, the dipstick's right up here for the transmission oil. And on the latter models, it's back on this cover on the opposite side, over on the right-hand side of the machine from where we're at now. So there's a little dipstick that you'll find down there. While you're at it, you can also grease all the zerks on the machine. So on the back here, on the right-hand side where you have the adjustable link on the drawbar, you can lubricate these two zerks here and here. And then in this case, it has a loader, so there's greasable zerks at the back of each of the rams and also at the front of the rams as well on each side. And then you can lubricate the tie rods on both sides. You can see right down there is a zerk, same place on the other side. And then up here in the front, on the front of the tie rod, same thing on the other side. Then also on the front side right here, I guess you'd call that the kingpins or something like that. There's a lubrication point there, and same thing on the other side. And you can see right up here on the front of the loader is two more lubrication points. And then in the top middle here of the loader is one, and then on the right and left side right here is another if you happen to have the loader. If you end up needing to add lubrication to the transmission and gearbox, that uses a 90 weight mineral oil. Locally, I've been able to pick that up at Napa Auto Parts. You can go in and ask for 90 weight gear oil. I think it's like a GL1, but you want the one that doesn't eat the brass components in there. You don't want the newer heavy duty gear oil. And then the modern tractor hydraulic transmission oils are very thin, and so those tend to not work very well in this application either. So hope everybody enjoyed that quick lubrication video for the 9N. We'll get some stuff cleaned up here and get on our way. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Remember, you can't finish a project without getting started.